Kaya naman kayo, kayong kapwa-Pilipino.
Wala nga kayong isang proof na confidential funds yan.
Okay, magandang gabi po muli sa inyo lahat. Ako pa rin po si Christian Esguera and welcome sa ating second special Facts First episode ngayong araw po ng Biyernes, June 12, 2026. Again, happy Independence Day po sa ating lahat. Okay, sa puntong ito pag-usapan po natin itong nalalapit na impeachment trial ni Vice President Sara Duterte diyan po sa Senado. Alam po natin hanggang ngayon hindi pa po tapos yung sigalot o yung gulo patungkol po diyan sa Senate leadership. Okay? And kahapon po, inanunsyo na po ng House Prosecution Team yung mga paunang miyembro ng team of private prosecutors na tutulong po sa kanila dito po sa impeachment trial. Ito po yung pag-usapan natin. No? Makakasama po natin ngayong gabi. Siya po yung namuno ng House Committee on Justice hearings dito po sa impeachment cases against Vice President Sara Duterte. And ayun yung banggitin na siya yung head ng House Prosecution Team. Pero widely acknowledged as the head or the lead House prosecutor in the upcoming impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. We'd like to welcome again to our program si Congresswoman Jinky Luistro. Magandang gabi po and thank you for joining us again dito po sa Facts First.
Good evening, Christian, and good evening sa lahat ng ating viewers and followers ng Facts First. Kasama na dyan ang aking mother,
Ayo,
ang
happy
inay Leonie
magandang
in
gabi po.
Canada.
Nanonood po siya ngayon.
Definitely, avid
Okay.
fan yun ng Facts First.
Magandang gabi po muli sa inyo. Mami Leonie po, ano? Tama?
Correct.
Okay, magandang gabi po. Okay, awkward yung introduction ko lagi kasi ayaw magpakilala ni Congresswoman Jinky na siya yung lead House prosecutor. Pero I think yun ang widely acknowledged, hindi po ba? We don't have to respond to that. Alam ko awkward. Okay, pag-usapan po natin itong sinapubliko niya na po yung initial members ng private prosecutors, tama po, ano? Ilan po sila at paano niyo ba sila pinili?
Well, initially, 10 sila, no, na na-introduce kahapon, Christian, and I anticipate sila yung mag-file ng entry of appearance kasabay ng ating pre-trial brief this coming Monday. Kung paano sila pinili, of course, number one, tiningnan namin kung anong talagang position nila in as far as the issue on impeachment is concerned. That is very important na we are guided by the same principle in as far as this impeachment trial is concerned, no? Second, syempre, tiningnan namin yung competence kung sila ba yung makakatulong ng higit sa mga House prosecutors. We acknowledge the fact na ang mga House prosecutors are not litigation lawyers, or even if they were in the past, napatigil yan because nag-embark na sila sa public service. So we need the necessary training which will be provided as well by the private prosecutors para bumalik yung competence ng mga House prosecutors, no? And ultimately, syempre dapat walang gastos ang ating gobyerno, no? And as acknowledged by all of them yesterday, voluntary yung kanilang pagtulong. In other words, pro bono ang serbisyo nila para sa bayan.
Nag-volunteer po ba sila to be part of the private prosecutors team?
Well, there were some which were initially solicited by some of the House prosecutors, no? Kagaya, for example, ni Kapunan and Castillo. You will remember, Christian, na part na sila nung first impeachment team back in the 19th Congress. So I admit that I was the one who reached out to them if they are still willing to join the team. And I'm so happy na ang bilis nilang nag-respond that they want to continue their representation in the past impeachment case, no, in 19th Congress. Same is true with respect to Attorney Virgil Ligutan, sapagkat siya ay kasama din doon sa original na team ng 19th Congress. But with respect to Pekka Bar, I believe that there are people from the impeachment team who enlisted their their services, and we are fortunate na mabilis namang nag-respond ang PECA Bar. Of course, we know PECA Bar, napakalaking law firm nito. Para sa guidance ng iba, ito po yung malaking law firm ni Juan Ponce Enrile, no? And who is Juan Ponce Enrile? Siya po yung kilala natin na naging mahusay na presiding officer ng impeachment trial during the time of Corona impeachment.
Opo. Matanong ko na rin, no? Ilan po rito sa mga kasama niyong private prosecutors yung merong actual experience in the two previous impeachment trials that we had? Noong 2001 kay Erap at saka 2012 kay Renato Corona.
Ang alam ko si Chel, but he is a house prosecutor, no? Doon sa ating inintroduce kahapon from the panel of private prosecutors, parang I don't recall any one of them na naka-experience na ng impeachment trial, no? But I believe that in the succeeding batches, siguro meron tayong mga makakasama na naging bahagi na ng mga nagdaang impeachment trials. But
May
for the
nagli-
batch yesterday, parang wala akong ma-recall except for Congressman Chel Jokno, who happens to be part of the public and not private prosecutors.
May nag-reach out po ba? Matanong ko lang, no? From the previous impeachment trials, let's say from the prosecution or from the Corona defense lawyers, nag-reach out or nakipag-ugnayan sa inyo and indicated that they would want to be part of the team?
Well, meron din naman, no? Meron din. As a matter of fact, meron din akong kinausap who were part of the impeachment trial in the past. Kaya lang meron silang mga considerations why they could not join the team right now, no? But as I have said, dun sa mga susunod na batches, parang meron akong naaalala who has experience already in the past impeachment cases.
Kaya ko po siya natanong, Congresswoman, kasi I suppose may advantage kung nagkaroon ng actual experience sa isang impeachment trial na hindi naman po araw-araw nagkakaroon tayo ng ganitong klaseng trial, hindi po ba? And perhaps you can talk about...
Naniniwala ako dyan, and that is why we were very much interested to consider those who experienced already in the past impeachment cases, no? But nevertheless, it does not diminish naman the competence of our private prosecutors from joining the impeachment team. While I acknowledge na advantage yun, na nakaranas na sila, of course, the videos are available in YouTube, no? And for PECA Bar, we understand that this is the law firm of the late Juan Ponce Enrile. So I believe that these lawyers were exposed as well to the rigors of impeachment trial during the time that JPE presided the impeachment court during the Corona impeachment. No? So just for the record, Christian, while we acknowledge na mahalaga yung experience ng private prosecutor dun sa mga nagdaang impeachment, it does not in any way diminishes the competence of the private prosecutors who are with us in the team right now.
Apo, most definitely, I agree. No? Ang konteksto po kasi nung tanong ko ay ganito. Dahil magagaling po lahat ng mga abogado yan, pero ang problema hindi po purely legal ang pag-uusapan dito. So maraming factors, hindi po ba? You'll be facing a trial, an impeachment court where most of the judges are not lawyers. And then you have the crowd, you have social media, you have the public to deal with. So I'd like to ask about your thought process. How are you approaching this upcoming trial? Kasi hindi pwedeng purely legal.
You're very much correct, Christian, no? The way you describe the impeachment trial that will happen at dapat ito ay maunawaan din ng taong bayan. Hindi po ito purely legal, it is likewise constitutional, and like what Christian said, as a matter of fact, even the judges are not all lawyers, no? And it is because of this concern that we really wish to formalize during the pre-trial conference na kung may pagkakataon, sana ay pahintulutan ang mga lawyers, both the defense and the prosecution, to speak in Tagalog, to speak in Filipino, so as we will be understood by the viewing public, no? After all, this is the interest of the sovereign Filipino people that is at stake. And therefore, dapat nauunawaan tayo ng taong bayan in the presentation of every piece of evidence before the impeachment court. Also, Christian, not only that, hindi lang yung pagsasalita ng Filipino, no? If possible, sana may makapag-translate din either from the Senate, the House of Representatives, or the mainstream media into as many dialects as possible to make sure that the entire nation are with us in this constitutional process, no? Number 3, sana ang maging posisyon ng impeachment court at all times is substance over technicalities, no? Kasi if we will always be inclined to hear the issues on technicalities rather than the evidence, we are apprehensive na baka ang maging ending nito is based on technicalities and not on merits, no? Ang mahalagang maintindihan ng impeachment court kasama ng sambayan ng Pilipino ay ang kahalagahan ng bawat ebidensyang ilalatag ng prosecution. So we are really pronouncing as early as now. I hope that the posture, the position of the impeachment court will be leaning towards substance rather than technicalities.
Okay. Nabanggit niyo po yung sana pahintulutan kayong gamitin yung Tagalog or Filipino dito sa trial na ito. Pero as far as you know, meron bang hard and fast rule regarding the language or medium to be used dun sa trial based on the Senate rules?
Actually, the Senate rules is silent as to the language which will be used. Pero kung i-consider natin yung nangyayari sa ordinary court proceedings,
English.
mostly in English siya, no? But again, ibalik natin, Christian, yung sinabi mo kanina, hindi ito purely legal. As a matter of fact, the senator judges are not all lawyers, no? Para sa taong bayan to. So I hope we will be allowed to speak more on Filipino for the better understanding of our beloved countrymen. At dagdag ko pa nga yung ating pakiusap sa taga-media, both main media and the social media. I hope you can help us translate into as many dialects from the north to the south of our country so that the entire nation will be on the same page as we witness this impeachment trial.
Oh, magandang idea po yun. Dahil ang dami nating mga local languages na dapat i-translate nga tama, no? Para mas maunawaan ng mga kababayan natin. Tanong ko po, ma'am, dito sa Congresswoman, you talked about preparations and that the private prosecutors were helping you dito sa preparation. When you talk about preparation, how much of that is devoted to communication or messaging? Hindi lang doon sa legal.
No, by communication or messaging, Christian, siguro mas inaasahan natin dyan yung ating mga spokes. If you remember, we have Congressman Sia Adjong and Congresswoman Reneco, no? Na magsasalita in behalf of the 11 prosecutors, because also we have to consider the prohibition under the Senate rules that once the trial in the Senate starts, we are precluded to comment on the merits of the impeachment case, no? So pagdating sa communication and messaging, medyo restricted na tayo dyan, Christian. So yung preparation na tinutukoy namin is really about the presentation of evidence before the impeachment court. Alam mo, Christian, ang challenge sa pagprepresent ng evidence is the objections which will be raised by the defense panel, no? Hindi na lang ito sa impeachment, even in other court proceeding. Ang challenge sa paglalatag ng ebidensya will be the objections that will be raised. So part of our preparation is to become well-versed on the grounds for objection and how to counter them.
Okay. Yung inisip ko naman pong preparation in terms of communication, yung pag nandun na kayo sa actual trial. Kasi habang nagsasalita kayo rin sa Senate floor, hindi naman yung mga senator judges lang po yung kausap nyo definitely. May blow-by-blow account dyan sa media at sa social media. Kausap nyo yung buong Pilipinas. Paano po yung preparation dyan in terms of, let's say, making sure that you drive home the point as understandable as possible?
Ako, on my part, no, I see to it na in every significant line that I will be uttering, mabilis kong itra-translate into Filipino. on that
Mm.
same occasion, no? That is one. Second, we are really devoting time to choose the proper words which will be understood by our countrymen. We want to translate our language into the level which will be understood by people from all walks of life, no? Of course, you understand, ang mga lawyers, especially the seasoned one, marami silang legal terminologies na ginagamit. So,
Legalist.
yes, for the purpose of this impeachment trial, we are preparing already to immediately translate whatever legalese will be raised during the impeachment trial, so
Mm.
as to make sure na maiintindihan tayo ng ating mga kababayan, no? So dun pa lang sa presentation of evidence, Christian, we're trying to be very conscious about the choice of words which we will be using to make sure na naiintindihan tayo ng ating mga kababayan.
Opo. Nabanggit niyo naman yung once the trial starts, the members of the prosecution and I suppose pati yung defense are precluded from commenting on the merits of the case. Tama po? Okay.
That is correct, no? The parties, the prosecution, the defense, and even the senator judges are prohibited from commenting on the merits of the impeachment
Malinaw po ba
case.
yan? Kasi sa karanasan natin in previous trials, most recently yung kay Renato Corona noong 2012, may mga senador na madadaldal eh. At mas
Well, the
mahirap
rule is
i-implement
very
sa kanila yung
clear.
rule na yun. Pero mas mahirap i-implement sa kanila yung rule na yun kasi senator judges sila eh.
The rule actually is very clear. So I hope that the senator judges will be conscious about the rules which they themselves promulgated. Sa kanila nang galing yan eh, the Senate rules on impeachment, no? Anyway, we have the legal luminaries, 'di ba? Who are being invited in the programs like Facts First, no? Tayo nananawagan sa kanila, including the deans of the colleges of law na ako'y talagang labis na nagpapasalamat because it seems to the 11 prosecutors that we have ample support coming from the legal experts and even the deans of the colleges of law, no? Na tutuwa po kami that our position is shared by the legal experts, the private lawyers, and as I have said, the dean of the colleges of law. For us, it is a validation. Parang sinasabi nila sa amin na tama ang ginagawa nyo dyan sa House of Representatives, no? Well, this only means that these people are supporting as well the Constitution, the accountability mechanism, and that is why dapat magtuloy ang impeachment trial.
Okay. Dito po sa dito sa fact na karamihan ng mga senator judges po ay hindi abogado. Kasi ang pagtingin ng iba dyan, disadvantage yan for the prosecution or the defense dahil baka hindi ganong kalalim appreciation nila sa mga procedures. Pero on the other hand, ang may pagtingin naman na actually okay yan eh. Kasi kung maipaliwanag doon sa mga non-judges, non-lawyers na senator judges, para ka na rin nakipag-usap doon sa ordinaryong Pilipino. Ano po yung pinanggagalingan yung point of view dito?
Actually, Christian, I agree with the latter view of yours, no? Mas naniniwala ako na mas magiging maayos ang appreciation ng evidence for non-lawyers because they are not restricted by rules on evidence and other technicalities, no? You've said this initially, hindi po ito purely legal. As a matter of fact, this power, if purely legal and technical, sana sa judiciary binigay. Pero hindi eh. Sa legislative ibinigay at sino ito? The representatives of the people. That is the purpose of the HOR and the Senate, to represent the interest of the people. In other words, this is not purely legal. This is more of constitutional. As a matter of fact, na ang pinag-uusapan mo ay ang sambayan ng Pilipino. Itong sambayan ng Pilipinong ito, they are not trained on technicalities. They are not trained on evidence, no? So for the purpose of representing them, I think nasa better position yung mga non-lawyers sapagkat they are not restricted, they are not precluded, they are not confused by the rules on evidence at ang tanging focus lang nila is the appreciation of the merits. Kung anong nakikita nilang ebidensya regardless of the technicalities, that's how they are going to decide whether the respondent should be held convicted or acquitted, no? So, of course, we do not discount the expertise of the lawyers, senator, judges, no? But the fact that the others are non-lawyers does not at all diminish their capacity to appreciate or have a correct appreciation of this case, this
Opo.
impeachment case, Christian.
Okay. Dito naman po sa alam natin may sigalot pa rin dyan sa leadership ng Senate. How is this affecting your preparation for the upcoming trial? Dinidispute ni Alan Peter Cayetano yung acting Senate presidency ni Gatchalian. Dinidispute niya na si Gatchalian yung uupo bilang presiding officer, for instance. How are these things affecting your preparation?
Well, Christian, wala naman siyang epekto sa preparation namin, no? Kasi our appreciation is this is a constitutional duty to have a trial forthwith regardless of who is the presiding officer. Sabi ko nga, this is not a question of si Alan Peter ba yan? Si Senator Win ba yan? Or idagdag na natin yung pinag-uusapan, si Senator Cheese ba yan? It is not a question of who is the presiding officer. It is a question of proceeding to trial because that is the mandate of the Constitution. No? In addition to that, Christian, of course, we are acknowledging the leadership of acting SP Win Gatchalian. Please understand that the 11 prosecutors is representing the House of Representatives. No? It therefore follows that whatever is the position of the HOR, that will be the direction as well of the 11 prosecutors. Nung mag-adjourn ang Congress during our last session, it was done by way of concurrent resolution, one from the House, one from the Senate, and the one which came from the Senate was through the leadership of acting SP Win, no? Ibig sabihin, nung nag-adjourn kami by way of concurrent resolution, in-acknowledge ng House, ni-recognize ng House ang legitimacy ng leadership ni acting SP Win Gatchalian. It follows therefore ng 11 prosecutors ang ire-recognize din ay ang leadership ni acting SP Win. But to your question, kung naaapektuhan bang aming preparation? Not at all. Sapagkat this is not a question of who is the presiding officer. This is a question of trial forthwith, which we must comply. Along with the senator judges, kailangan namin pare-parehas sumunod because we are bound by the mandate of the Constitution. The prosecutors are bound in the same way that the senator judges are bound to follow the Constitution.
Okay. Dito po sa pag-usapan natin yung numero kasi nakasaad po ay dapat at least 16 yung bumoto for conviction para ma-convict yung si Vice President Sara Duterte. Pero ngayon, out of 24, 22 yung mga senador na nandyan dahil si Jinggoy kulong sa kasong plunder and he's suspended, I suppose, no? Yun ang nakalagay eh. Tapos si Bato nagtatago po. So, ano yung numero sa tingin niya na dapat sundin? 16 pa rin po ba? Or 2/3 nung senators who are within the coercive powers of the Senate?
Alam mo, Christian, blessing in disguise yung nangyari doon sa change of leadership. Because it paved way for the people to look into this case of Avellino versus Cuenco na nasundan naman pala ng marami pang kaso, no? Na ang quorum ay na-reduce depending on the number of the members of the Senate who are within, as you have said, the coercive means of the Senate, no? But I want to add something to that. Let us remember the mandate of the Constitution. Bakit may senador? That is to represent the interest of the Filipino people, no? Pero kung ang senador nakakulong, kung ang senador nagtatago, kung ang senador nasa hospital, kung ang senador nasa abroad, can you honestly say that they are representing the interest of the people? Definitely not. At kung hindi, why would you consider them in determining the quorum or even the required number of votes for the purpose of the conviction in the impeachment trial? That is just my take. So, to answer your question, dapat ang determination ng threshold will depend on the number of senators within only the coercive means of the Senate. Because sila lang yung pwede mong sabihin, they are really discharging their duty of representing the interest of the Filipino people. With all due respect kay Senator Bato, who is now in hiding ngayon, can you honestly say that he is representing the interest of the Filipino people? I don't think so. So why are we going to consider him for the purpose of determining the required number of votes for the purpose of conviction? Or even for the purpose of acquittal.
Opo. Dagdagan ko lang po yung mga scenarios, no? Please indulge me. Okay, ngayon, bawasan 2 senador yung 24. So, 22 po. Okay. Paano kung makulong din si Joel, Cheese, Bongo, Marcoleta? Kasi si Joel and Cheese, sangkot din dito sa, iniugnay din sa flood control. Kung makasuhan ng plunder, baka non-bailable. Si Marcoleta, baka makasuhan din ng plunder, non-bailable. Bongo, kung maaresto sa ICC warrant. And I think meron din plunder case against him sa ombudsman. Scenario lang po ito, no? So, 6 agad yung mawawala. So, magiging 18 yung mga senador. Okay? So, susundin pa rin ba yung 16 out of 18? Tapos, let me go further. Paano kung, let's say, may ibang mga senador na nag-participate doon sa trial, pero pagdating ng araw ng paghuhukom, bigla nag-absent para mabawasan yung 16. Let's say natira na lang 15. Can it be argued na technically, hindi na natin pwede convict yan kasi yung present ng mga senador ngayon, 15 lang. Nakalagay sa Constitution, 16. Would that be tantamount to, let's say, sabotaging the process in favor of the impeached official? Yun po yung mga scenarios na naisip ko. What do you think?
Let us first share yung sinasabi ni retired Justice Carpio, no? At ito naman talagang nasa batas under the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act and even under the plunder law. Kapag nakasuhan isang government official, no? They are suspended from their public service, no? So, notwithstanding the fact na hindi sila nakakulong, hindi sila PDL, it is the law itself which says na suspended sila from their public office. Having said so, can you still say that they are senators if they are suspended? This is with respect to those na may kaso o makakasuhan ng plunder or violation of anti-graft, no? And of course, bagaman iba't iba ang senaryo nung sinabi mo, what is clear, merong kang binanggit na may kaso sa ICC, the rest you mentioned are possible cases with the ombudsman, no? Ang maliwanag, Christian, outside coercive means na sila ng Senado as pronounced in Avellino versus Cuenco na sinundan pa ng maraming kaso. Babalik ako dun sa argument ko kanina. If you're outside the coercive means of the Senate, therefore, hindi ka na nakaka-appear, no? Hindi ka na nakaka-attend. Hindi ka na rin nakakaboto. Then how can you say that you are truly representing the interest of the people? In that case, Christian, I believe that the number should be reduced to 18 and for the purpose of conviction, 2/3 of 18 and for the purpose of acquittal, 1/3 of 18. No? That's my take. No?
Paano
To
yung
your
pangatlong
question, paano kung naka-attend? Tapos biglang nawala
Nag-absent.
nung magbobotohan na. And sa akin, yung casting of vote, Christian, that is a constitutional duty. Something which you cannot dispense with. Hindi ka rin pwedeng magpa-proxy, no? So, for me, that should be considered also in reducing the number of threshold kung hindi ka makaka-attend because that constitutional duty must be personally attended to by the senator judges. With all due respect sa kanilang lahat.
Hindi, kaya ko lang po naisip yan kasi paano kung merong isang magiting o dalawang magigiting na senador na gustong isabotahe, absent kami. Para kunwari naging 15 na lang, di ba? So hindi niya na makukuha yung 16. So yun pa rin ang argument, no? Yun dun sa Avellino versus Cuenco. Dapat
Yes,
within
coercive means
power.
tayo. Coercive means, no? And I think that is aligned dun sa sinasabi ko kanina na ang purpose kaya may senador is to represent the Filipino people. But if you're outside the coercive means already, how can you truly represent the people, no? Nakakulong, nasa abroad, nagtatago, kinuha ng ICC, nasa ospital. definitely you are precluded already from discharging your duty as a senator, specifically in representing the interest of the people, no? In that case, dapat nire-reduce para yung decision ng Senate, which is a collegial body, or the impeachment court, will be truly representative of the interest of the Filipino people.
Mm. Ano naman po, bilang panghuli, no, ano pong tingin niyo rito sa naging tugon nung kampo ni Sara Duterte doon sa impeachment complaint diyan sa Senado at saka yung pagpapadismiss?
Well, it's a non-answer. Yun ang aming appreciation dun sa kanilang sagot sa articles of impeachment. As a matter of fact, consistent sila, Christian, no?
Mhm.
Kasi dun sa first impeachment natin, 19th Congress, yun na din. Constitutional, procedural, technical issues. Pagdating sa Justice Committee, yun din ang sagot. 20th Congress na to, Justice Committee, yun din ang sagot. Constitutional, procedural, and technical. Pagdating sa impeachment court, they just rehashed all the issues that were raised in the Justice Committee, no? So, ako, I want to make reservation pagdating dito sa pre-trial, no? Dapat ilabas na nila kung anong kanilang defense because under the rules, yung hindi mo ilalatag during the pre-trial, you cannot anymore present that during the trial. Witnesses which are not submitted during the pre-trial or evidence which are not submitted during the pre-trial cannot be presented during the trial. So last opportunity nila to, pre-trial conference. After this pre-trial conference at wala talaga sang inilabas, then I can honestly say baka wala ngang ebidensya ang respondent.
At mako-convict kung walang ebidensya. Ang problema, baka idaan sa drama tsaka sa propaganda. Kasi hindi naman po ito purely legal, hindi po ba?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yun na,
That's correct.
kinakawawa.
That is why the dissemination of information is very significant in this particular case, no? At sana makatulong natin people in the media like you, people in the mainstream and in the social media, sana'y maging responsible po tayo in disseminating accurate information lang in as far as this impeachment trial is concerned. Dapat po maintindihan ng sambayanang Pilipino because apart from the impeachment court, we have a court of public opinion. And I honestly believe mas powerful itong court of public opinion if indeed ay maninindigan ang sambayanang Pilipino.
Okay. Sige po, Congresswoman Jinky Luistro, maraming salamat po for joining us tonight. Magandang gabi po sa inyo.
Thank you. Good evening. Maraming salamat and more power to Facts First.
Salamat po, salamat. Yan po si Congresswoman Jinky Luistro. Siya po yung tagapamuno ng House Prosecution Team. Tama yun, no? Nabanggit na rin natin before yan. Very consistent yung sagot ng company Vice President Sara Duterte. Puro procedural at constitutional issues yung kine-question. Pero hindi naglalabas ng actual na ebidensya para i-refute yung mga ebidensya at saka mga bintang laban sa kanya. Let's see kung pagdating sa mismong pre-trial, wala pa rin silang ilalabas na ebidensya to refute the allegations which are very serious against her. Antabayanan po natin. Okay? So, kita-kita po tayo, no? Meron pa po tayong episode na susunod. Ako po si Christian Esguera. Magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat.